Well, that didn't take long. 6 months in, we already have the entire Simpsons clan. Today, we're looking at Wave 3 of the Jakks Pacific Simpsons line, starting off with a pretty cool set of Marge and Maggie.
Do kids still use that word? Cool?
Then we got Bart's best bud with a brand new bike.
Everything's coming up Milhouse!
The legendary softball slugger himself, Homer at the bat. Then half of Homer's best buds from work, Lenny Leonard.
I'm Lenny. This is Carl and Homer. I'm Lenny.
So overall, this wave gets us 2 brand new family members, a variant Homer, and then 2 pretty essential side characters. Outside of the package, you can see this line doesn't come with a ton of accessories, but the style of the figures is right on. Let's check out Marge and Maggie. Alright, starting off with a quick turntable test. That's okay, take 2. Third time's a charm, here we go. Well, at least Maggie makes it. What this Marge figure lacks in ability to ride the turntable, she definitely makes up for in everything else. The style and scale of her hair is just perfect. I almost thought it was articulated, but I think that's just the spot where it's glued together. Her arms are superposable. They look a little bit blocky, but you even get that bicep turn in there. They're super thin, but I didn't feel like I was ever going to break anything. When it comes to the arms, Marge is probably the most articulate one we've gotten so far. Even though she's got that dress on, you can turn her at the waist 360, and surprisingly, underneath that skirt there are a set of knees. You could even pull off some running poses, walking poses. That's pretty unique for a Marge figure. She is a little bit hard to stand, but I think that's just due to the design of the character. In a cartoon, they don't really have to care about balance because they can just draw it however they want. She definitely can stand, it just takes a few more seconds than the rest of the figures, but her style and design is spot on. Her accessory is actually Maggie, and this might be one of the best things they've come out with yet. Again, the design and modeling is perfect. She has a ton of posability in the head and the arms, no elbows on these little things. I can't quite tell what kind of joint is in her skirt here, but I'm really surprised how much she can move. For being such a small little figure, she has a ton of possibilities. I just love this thing. I need to get her in some pictures with the baby TMNT pronto. The expressions on the rest of the family have been a little bit plain so far, but I think it works perfectly for Maggie. This might be my favorite family member yet. I wish there were a couple other accessories, but I get it. Marge can hold Maggie in a couple different poses, but I don't know if I would trust her standing up. She does have peg holes if you can find a stand that fits though. But the absolute best thing about having these two is that we can finally put the entire family together. We got Homer and Bart from Wave 1, and then Lisa came in Wave 2. So it only took us about 6 months and maybe $60 at most to complete the entire family. I absolutely think that's a big win from Jakks Pacific. Next up in the wave is Milhouse van Houten, and while he does ride one a few times in the show, I wouldn't consider a bike to be his trademark accessory, but I am really glad we got this thing. It is very well done. Just don't forget that clear little stand piece in the package. The pedals of the bike have pegs on them, so if you angle his legs just right, you can get him standing on there pretty securely. It takes a little bit of practice, as you can see, but even once he's on there, balancing is not a problem. Keep in mind he's only got one gripping hand though. As far as his overall design, of course the face sculpt looks perfect, but unfortunately I couldn't really get his shoulders to rest down any more than this. It looks a little bit awkward, so I wish they would have trimmed down the tummy a little bit to get those arms down, but it doesn't look too bad. His legs seem extra flexible and articulate, probably to help out with that bicycle. And I think the overall design, colors, dimensions are all pretty spot on for the show. Some people have complained about Bart feeling too big. I think he looks great next to Milhouse. Bart's just a little bit taller with that spiky hair, and I wouldn't want them to be any smaller than this. Again, with Milhouse, I think the expression is a little bit better than it is on Bart. He's got those eyebrows to give him a little bit more character. And since these two are pretty close in size, you'll be happy to find out that Bart can ride the bicycle. He also only has the one gripping hand, so he's living a little bit dangerously. I do have a World of Springfield Milhouse to compare to real quick. The advantage of the Playmates is that they have the smooth look because they have a lot less articulation. I think the dimensions on the Jakks are a little bit more real to the show, and the glasses are a little bit less clunky. Overall, I think they're both still great figures, just depends on what you want to use your toys for. Up next is the first of hopefully many variant Homers, with Homer at the bat. This was one of my favorite episodes as a kid because you got to see a lot of MLB stars in The Simpsons, and throughout the course of the episode they each had something terrible happen to them so they couldn't compete in the final game. The most memorable ones for me were probably Daryl Strawberry and Ozzie Smith, but you'll have to check out the episode for yourself. The styling of Homer's uniform is spot on. He comes with that red hat, you can put it on forward or backwards. Pretty nice little addition. But you really can't have this Homer without including the Wonder Bat. Homer uses a limb that was struck down by lightning and creates his very own secret weapon for the softball game. I'm really glad they included all the details on this thing. As for posing, he's a little bit limited when it comes to ultra-realistic baseball poses. The bat can't really rest on his shoulder, but it looks okay down like that. He can't hold the bat with both hands, but I saw Toy Shiz kind of fake it depending on the angle. So if you're going to use it for some toy photography, I think you could make it work. Just don't look at it from the side because those hands are not even close. Here he is kind of scoping out his next home run, and the grip options are a little limiting, but you can have it resting there in the other hand. Compared to the standard Homer, I think it's pretty much a brand new figure with the exception of the head and the hands. Of course, they probably used that old model as the base, but they added a lot of new details all around the uniform and clothes. Definitely a cool addition to the line. Now for Lenny, you're going to have to forgive my camera just a little bit because those big bulb eyes really threw the focus and lighting for a loop. When you get down to it, this is trademark Lenny though. The beard is well done, the jagged hair. He's got similar upper body articulation to Marge. They might even use the exact same arms. I guess not because he has cuffs on the bottom. And then his legs are exposed so you can get him in some running, jogging poses, but he usually in the show is just standing around like a lump. It's a really thin little figure, so not much plastic, so they provided 2 accessories for this one. I'm glad they didn't just pack in more donuts like Homer. This time we got a coffee cup and a bag of lunch. Definitely 2 cool background accessories that you could use for a lot of different stuff. Look, there goes the focus of the camera. It's just like a yellow blur up there. There we go. That's a little bit better. I thought he would tower over the world of Springfield Lenny, but it's really not that much different. The facial expressions are similar. You get a little bit more cartoony style with the black lines on the Playmates figure. And overall, the coloring on that one is a little bit darker. Of course, the articulation is way more limited, but overall, it's a very similar figure. Which means, if you're like me and you think it's weird to see Lenny standing by himself, then just grab your Carl from the world of Springfield and plop him right next to him. It's definitely not a perfect fit, but it'll work for now until we see him in Wave 4. Overall, I think this might be my favorite wave yet. Highlights are definitely the bicycle. Maggie is a perfect little figure. The style of Marge is right on, but she is just a little bit hard to stand. Milhouse's shoulders are a little bit off-putting, but I'll take it. Lenny's doing Lenny just fine, and Homer at the Bat is a great reference to a specific episode. When it comes to The Simpsons, I am all for the one-off references. Bring them on. We could get Moo Moo Homer, Stonecutter Homer, Pin Pals Homer. I'll take them all. I've seen people find these at GameStops, but I got mine from Toy Stlkr, so be on the lookout. Wave 3 of the 2.5 figures should be hitting now as well. You get a pretty cool selection with these with Comic Book Guy. We get a yelling version of Grandpa Simpson, pretty fun. Another Milhouse, but this time with a squishy. You get Ralph Wiggum with the Choo Choo Choose Me Valentine. And then I actually already have this Krusty Fan Bart with a pretty cool hat on top, which goes perfectly with the Krusty Burger mini playset. Even if you're only going to collect the main family on this line, I definitely think it's worth getting these 5. And if you're all in like me, this is another great wave. I am super excited to see where this line goes this year. Thanks for watching another Simpsons themed video. Hope you don't mind me mixing up the content, but I like to collect a lot of different things. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what characters you want to see next in this Jakks Pacific line in the comments.